Good to see you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to eluukkanen Livestream. Today, we have a goal, a plan, a destiny. We're going to make a video game together. And not just any video game, we're going to be making it with RPG Maker. Today we're able to do it because of the great tools that have been given to us. These simplified tools for simpletons like me. Simpletons that actually, I don't know that much coding, I know somewhat, but we're going to be doing a video game indeed. RPG Maker is going to be the one that we are seeing it happen. And what is RPG Maker for those that do not know? Well, RPG Maker is this lovely program that uses JavaScript, and you can essentially make any RPG game you want in 2D, even in 3D if you have any skill on that, of your dreams. And that originally inspired me to purchase it, test it, and make some stuff with it. I started with RPG Maker VX, and now working with RPG Maker MV. Indeed so. Times have changed, but the goal hasn't. We're going to be doing something quite spectacular today. We're going to be doing a minigame of sorts for our game Final Fallacy. And that minigame is going to be something quite incredible. It's going to be a dishwashing minigame indeed. It does not sound that impressive at first, but I tell you, a dishwashing minigame in this engine, there's no really preset to it. Well, we're going to be very much making it from the zero. So as normally, I'm eluukkanen, I'm a composer person, but I do some hobby video game moments here in Wednesdays. So pleasure to have you in. Hopefully you enjoy this show we have here, and you can participate the show by commenting in the chat. And I think the problem is that in some places like Facebook, you cannot see the comments. Unfortunately, we cannot see them. But I would of course very much appreciate you say hello and that sort of fashion, because this is going to be a sort of a collaborative thing. You can give feedback and give, of course, say an effect to what we do over here. Indeed, once we get the game running on the screen. I'm a little bit setting our hair on a few things. I'm going to be talking about what is the project that we are having over here. Essentially, RPG Maker, I used to play a lot of RPG games, and I always ask this question by myself: what if I would have a chance to make my own, make something of my own? RPG Maker MV Livestream is very much about that. Because I've seen many games with impressive systems, with excellent deduction when it comes to their mechanics. But I wanted to make something that is kind of different and kind of is forgotten when it comes to games, the stories that are in them, and especially the way that you can affect those stories. Indeed so. So dishwashing, I don't know how that actually serves that, but you know, dishwashing is needed because in my game that I'm currently doing, it's this sort of RPG adventure game, and I want to make that if you are in But the thing is, we're going to be listening some Final Fantasy XI soundtrack in the background as we are doing this. Indeed, that's what we have here. That's what we got. Let's open the stream itself. Stream itself doing nicely, I think. Yes, indeed. Here we go. Of course, you need to share this a bit around, otherwise, hardly no one hears about it. That's the sad thing about online space. Here we go. And let's put it there. RPG Maker. Hopefully, some enthusiasts come and go. We shall see about that. But of course, you never know. Streams can be quiet. Streams can be lovely times. Who knows? It depends very much on the people themselves. People themselves. We might have our luck, but not. Here we go. Let us see how it goes. Might interest people, might not, but that's the thing. You never know without trying. I just yesterday saw this person that was kind of a like many people that go in academies and such, study music and such. They've now started like especially under lockdown, really put time to put their online profiles in, and I've been seeing that, and you know it's kind of a game of luck. Sometimes people are interested, sometimes not. I'm just checking how we're live in all places like this. Here we go. I think we are live. Excellent, excellent. And then I think soon we can start out there. Let me still share this in few places in order to get the exposure point. Yes, online you need to get those exposure points, right? Not fond of that, but that's how life works. Exposure. That's what you have to do. How are you doing today? Let me know. How are you? Thing is, for me, all is going pretty lively, actually. Yes. All is going very nicely. Thing is that my problem is right now that I haven't still started. I have like planned on what I will be doing on the whole thing, but haven't yet done too much. So we just see how it eventually will go on. But now, let me share it in land of Facebook and Twitter. Here we go. Let's share this in here. Twitter is something I have many times said I'm not very big fan of, because it is usually this sort of like I don't know. You have to like sacrifice your soul and energy in order to get this work. Like I'm able to get this work if I wanted to, but Twitter is this sort of yeah, not the most fanciest thing at least on my point of view, because you have to. Well, of course you have to always, if you go to any house, and if you have to play with their rules, but I don't really like their rules, to be honest. Too. That's just my opinion, of course. I know that there are many people that are very well acquainted with embedded, I think, with the RPG Maker. I don't know, Twitter scene. Yes, it's this own world. And RPG Maker. Let's see. Oh, we have RPG Maker. RPG Maker MV. Here we go. And still live stream. That's what we have over here. Always need to share this. And I haven't actually focused on the Twitter too much. I've been just posting my links there like which you shouldn't do, I tell you. I should be actually really working on it if I wanted to, but it's not really useful, to be honest. I don't really see much use in it, otherwise than just contacting people. That's the only thing I really see it useful for. Now, we have it here. Realize minigames just eventing, and I think that is right. Here we go. Let us share that, and we're still going to be sharing over here as well. A post, and then we are ready to begin. It is a quiet day this Wednesday, but of course Wednesdays are quiet days in earliest as they are. But we are soon going to begin our process of doing this thing. Here we go. Share. Let me still share this in RPG Maker community in our Facebook. I've actually been very positive about Facebook recently. Like I had this sort of like a disdain for it for some while, but now I've been actually getting more positive when it comes to Facebook, because yeah, it actually is a useful place to share stuff. Unlike on my own point of view, Twitter. Indeed, so I believe that personally. For me, yesterday I planted some potatoes. Need to be checking those today, how they fare. Hopefully well enough. I do need to make a another potato live stream at some point. Soon we're going to be starting the RPG Maker program itself. We have already here some stuff, but need to be sharing this one first. That's the thing. We're working hard to make ourselves way forward. Let's see. I think this is a lovely text we could add over here. It's kind of gets interested those people. I don't know. Might be. Gonna make a dishwashing minigame live with RPG Maker MV, and then exclamation! Incredible that enough. And there you go. Just put that. Here we go. Now we got it. I think I'm still going to go to the Discord place. The Discord I'm very proud of, but I have to be actually more active in there, because if I'm not, then the Discord place is going to be just like, phew, go away. Thing is, it's still a small place, but I very much wish to grow it forward, because it's a community that I actually care about, unlike the other social medias. Yes, indeed. Here we go. Alright. Let's look at the private messages on stream, shall we? But now, let me still share my stream over here and see how people are going. Good morning, people. Finland! Here we go. Good morning, Finland. Yeah, let me share my stream around. I suppose I've tried to share too many times. I suppose I'm just going to not share this time. It's kind of nasty, just me sharing streams. I have to be still getting streamers active in this place. But now, we are ready to begin. Let us do it. So, minigame. What are we going to be doing? First, I thought there was this artist person I knew that could do the resources for myself, but I think I need to do those again, unfortunately. Unfortunately, that's the sad thing, but we need to do that, so let us do that right now. Let me actually put the resource making program. I'm using paint.net, kind of a simple free program to mess around with. And I'm going to be making forks, spoons, and other things you need to clean. That's what we do. Here we go. You can see it. Alright, good. Let me test it out still. Yeah, you can see it. Oh, yes. Good. Let's do some spoons. A spoon is a lovely word. A spoon. In Finnish, it's lusikka. And kind of the same thing, spoon and lusia is kind of like a verb connected to lusikka, and it's kind of like you are in a prison sort of fashion. Yes, indeed. Let us do ourselves a fork first. Fork. Let us do that with ourselves over here.
Wispy Whiskers.
Wispy, how are you doing?
My game idea, moon viewing ceremony.
Oh, that is an excellent moon viewing ceremony. That is something that should be done. And what is the goal of the game? Well, view the moon as many times as possible. This is kind of a lovely gist to it. How are you doing, Wispy Whiskers? Welcome to the stream. We are currently making a dishwashing mini game to our little game. We just started actually the creation. And as with eluukkanen streams often, it's a trial and error sort of tactic. We might succeed, but we also might not. That is how we roll over here at eluukkanen. How are you doing today, Wispy? Are you actually doing a moon viewing ceremony game? If so, let me know. But I need to use that moon viewing ceremony for something because, man, it's a lovely thing. It's a lovely thing. So fork, how does a fork look like? Well, of course, it's kind of like this, I suppose. It actually should be much closer to each other, those. Yeah, I'm not an artist person. Actually, I have this friend who is very good in art. And I'm sad that I didn't find his assets that he made for this minigame. I actually have to make new ones, unfortunately. But that's no worries. I can actually replace them later. So let's not do too much of the quality stuff over here. Here we go. Fork. Indeed, are you a fan of minigames when it comes to video games? I personally have had good luck and bad luck when it comes to minigames in video games, because sometimes they actually do them good and sometimes they actually make them very terrible. Problem is that when do you know when it's good and not good? That's the thing. And that's kind of a fork, I suppose. It's not that good looking fork, but I suppose we could like a little bit do like this. Here we go. Let's put this one a little bit on the side. Here we go. Kind of like forkish. Forkish, yeah. Can you see the process? You can. Excellent. So a lovely Wednesday game development stream. Kind of a simple one at that, because yesterday I actually worked on alcoholism when it came to the video game, because of course you have to have alcoholism in the video game, of course. And that means that you can get alcoholized.
Is this in Photoshop?
Not Hey, Jay Israel! I think I've not seen your name before. Welcome to the stream. This is Pine.net. I'm using free tools on doing this because I have this friend who is an artist person. I myself am not. We are doing assets for our lovely video game that is going to be a dishwashing mini game. And unfortunately, my friend in earlier made the assets for this, but I was not able to find them, so I'm going to be making a placeholder asset so we can actually see something visible. I'm going to be asking him to provide the good ones, because he actually made some good ones, I tell you. So these are placeholders. How are you doing, Israel? How are you doing? Are you an RPG Maker person yourself? Let me know. Wispy. Concept, the dance of moonlight. Repeat the rhythm using one of two keys. If you played Zelda Oracle games, you'd be like the Goron
concept,
dance.
a dance in the moonlight.
Oh, actually, I've not played that Zelda game. I don't know personally.
Repeat a YTHM using one or two keys.
But still, I kind of like the idea. I do have some kind of a connection issue because it's not saying the whole thing for the chatbot. For some reason, I do.
If you've played the Zelda Oracle games, it'd be like the Goro dance game.
Okay, I see. So there's that sort of passion. I suppose, I don't know the Goron dancing minigame game. Could we find it in YouTube land? Let's see. The Goron dance minigame. Let's see. Goron dance is like this? Ocarina of Time Goron dance? Let's see. Can we find it in here? I've heard this melody before. Goron dance. Okay, now I know where this comes from. Oh, very lovely indeed. Israel, you have a new one in the stream. Have you done RPG Maker stuff yourself?
J. Israel.
I am. I recently created first-person spaceship battle through a hell of eventing.
I recently created a first-person spaceship battle through a hell of a lot of eventing.
Man, that is quite
Always
impressive.
Awesome to see the unique things someone can do through eventing.
Oh yeah. Are you using some kind of a system for the first-person view? Man, I tell you, that sounds cool. Where can I find this project? I want to actually check it out. That is very cool. J. Israel. It's a pleasure because, you know, this community of RPG Maker people is very creative, I have to tell you. very creative, very welcoming, and very much open for new sort of ideas. And actually some very big, lovely projects have came out from RPG Maker community. Here we go, trying to make a spoon, but then of course I'm miserably failing over here. I am not an art person, you might see. We had an art stream yesterday, but I have to still say I'm not the very best when it comes to this sort of stuff. But we got something here. A spoon.
Zebek.
Zebek! Hello! We have people joining, familiars, and of course a new person, Israel. It's actually pretty cool that if you just with eventing did the first person thing, I tell you. But Zebek, how are you doing? Let me know.
I've been following a guy who makes great pixel art.
Oh.
Goes by the name Lumpy Touch.
Lumpy Touch. So what sort of job he does? Let me know.
Israel.
Does he work for projects?
Number. It is just a visual illusion. You can see it here.
You can see it here. Can you actually post it in the chat? Let me know the link or the name of the game I will be checking out. So for some reason, perhaps link posting doesn't work here. I'm going to be checking that out, of course. Let's see. Does it work? Let us see. Hey, we have 4 people watching. Hello there, 4 people. Good to see you. But yeah, can I see your stuff? I don't see it yet. Let me know. For some reason, the chat it sometimes doesn't work. Hopefully, it's not. I don't know how to fix it though. Like it sometimes says you can post link, and sometimes it is. But we have had some nasty links shared to us in the stream, so I think it's because of that. Suppose I have no idea. To be honest, I just noticed they made the shadings wrong. Oh man. So dishwashing. Have you ever? But of course, many people must have done some dishwashing themselves in their lives. Dishwashing is this sort of nasty habit you have to do when you have food served on a plate. You have to, of course, clean the plate, otherwise it's going to be unhealthy, and you're going to get sick, sort of fashion. Yes, very nasty indeed. Let me try to make the sort of like the shape of the spoon. I think I need to still have a little more dim, but still like this. It doesn't look like a spoon, but at least it somewhat resembles one. So that's the important stuff. Like I had this person who was very excellent in pixel art sort of stuff.
Israel. I am so bad at pixel art.
Same here.
I am a graphic designer, so I thought it would come easily to me, but my pixels always look so undefined.
It is his own skill, I suppose. It is. It is like an own thing you have to really focus on.
He's done a number of projects. Animations, games, art. He made the graphics for a hidden gem called Sacrifice.
What is the person's name? Lumpy Touch. Let me actually have it on the upper screen. We're gonna be checking him out over here. Lumpy Touch. Okay, a big person. Oh no, what is that? Looks nice enough. So we have cats. Okay, that's a good start. And we. Oh man, that is terrifying. Garfield, what has happened to you? Oh man, that looks kind of terrifying looking. I've actually, my brother has actually shown this to me before, if I remember right. I've seen some of these things. Yeah, man, that looks terrifying. I tell you. Oh man, that's like that's disgusting but very cool at the same time, sort of fashion. Oh, I'm not really going perhaps to that sort of art style in this game, but of course these are placeholders. I'm going to be having a real art person to come and really put these ones on, like somewhere on the shelf, I tell you, because man, it's right. I don't really know how to do this stuff. But so you are a graphic designer? Oh, I see. What sort of graphic designing do you do, my friend? Let me know. So we have some assets over here. Yay! Spoons and such. Let's deal. What else you have when it comes to dishwashing? I think it comes to, like, you have plates, of course. Yes, plate is going to be the great challenge when it comes to what you shall be cleaning out there, of course. Here we go. This is a plate. A very easily done plate. Let me actually make it much more refined. Yes, let me do a refined one if I can. graphic designing is actually a good sort of thing to do in this life. There's many good opportunities for that. There's this person in Philippines I know who does graphic designing and motion picture. Very excellent in what he does on it, and he's a freelancer, like just done by himself all this stuff. Very impressive indeed. By the way, if people don't know, we are listening some Final Fantasy XI music, of course, here in the background. I haven't actually played this game ever, but I do like the music in this game. I do like the tunes it has. So played, we're going to be doing it. Let's see how it goes. Might be a terrible one, but you know, of course we have to try. That's the thing. That's eluukkanen philosophy. Might be a very obscure philosophy, but still, let's see. Here we go. We have to like a little bit dimmer, and of course the whiteness has to be on the sides. Yes.
Wispy whiskers.
Let us see how it goes.
The point of pixel art is that it's unfocused. It gives a faint outline and your mind fills the blanks.
That is a great
there
stuff about
was some classical artist who used this technique. J. Israel.
So actually,
I typically do print designs, posters, magazines, etc.
Well, that's quite something.
A lot of experience in composite image making has allowed me to be fairly good at creating photorealistic maps.
So you're doing photorealistic, Ron. Oh, and then you are, of course, using the skill as well in RPG Maker project as well. I see. Very excellent, actually. If I would have that, I would be like, oh man, that would be great. But of course, I'm a limited person. I can do some composing. That's can I do, and I will be doing that with the Final Fantasy thing I'm doing over here. But thing is, it's a graphic designing would make things much easier, so I'll give you props on that.
I'm doing some pixel arts.
Yes, Sabek has done some pixel arts if I remember right, and such if I remember, yeah. Some of the like the portraits you have on your what was it 13 your brother or 16 your brother who had the portrait.
But only to my game. I'll send you some of them on Discord.
Hey, that would be excellent. That would be excellent to see, man, of course. And of course, you know, good to keep some stuff in secret, of course. I think that looks like a plate, doesn't it? It kind of looks, yay. Let's give it like that. That's good. That's good enough. Plate, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. And the next thing, and I think I'm going to be having it as a last thing at least, we have to, the dishwashing minigame, the idea is that you have this sort of like thing that you have to like make the dishes much more cleaner, like this sort of stuff, and they can break at the same time. Then you have to have a water and this sort of like, let's see how it goes. I have an idea, but haven't yet put that into events just yet.
I am hoping to brush up on coding. Knowing JavaScript would make RPG Maker a hell of a lot easier.
That is an actual thing that RPG Maker has. JavaScript, you can actually use it to make stuff. I've been a bit learning myself, especially combining it with event system. Oh, you sent me. Can I actually see it on? Do we have a Discord open here somewhere? Discord. Here we go. Can I? Oh, very nice. Very nice. Let's not show too much, so people. Well, if you want to, of course, let me show. But if you don't want to show it to people publicly, that's okay. But very lovely, very lovely. This sort of plant thing. Is that the plant game you're doing currently? And yes, we have the stream over here. Very good, very good. But is that the plant thing? Hopefully, I didn't show too much. Sorry if I did. Private messages should always be private, I tell you. And I did just break the biggest rule of them all. Hopefully that was not bad. Oh, you can show.
You can show them.
Alright, good. Let's do it right then. Let's do it right away. And we have 5 people, which is actually pretty impressive on the point that we're having. Oh, thank you for coming here. So here we go. Okay.
Wispy whiskers.
So you're doing this planting.
Wow, are those utensils short? My hand would cramp immediately if I used them.
Utensils? I'm from Finland, so like some words are kind of obscure for me. I've heard utensils before.
I want to be able to use pixie filters to make a tilt shift effect on my game, but I believe I will have to code that myself to be able to do it.
Pixel tilting effect shift. Aren't there some kind of plugins for that? But I suppose that could be programmed in as well. Utensil, of course, astiat, of course. Of course, utensils. Yes, yes, yes. I kind of small, yeah, I can tell you. Very, very... whiskers, yeah.
I'm also editing my photos.
I see. So, like, I've understood, Zabek, that you're making this plant growing game. Can you tell something about that? I'm actually interested to see what it goes, especially, you know, this looks like you have this sort of
wispy
like,
whiskers
over here and such.
Utensil, as in fork, knife,
yeah, utensils. Now I got it, of course. Yes, but we have some plants over here. Yes. Let's get back to the, of course, to the plate and such. Let's work on the utensils.
They might be small, or maybe the plate is just very big.
I'm going to be like, there's this effect I do with the game, which is like this 16-bit thing. Like, let me just go back. This is the normal, the size of how we're editing them. I'm doing this very simple effect of just, hey, we got ourselves, this is the normal size of them. So that is the size we're going to be using them in the game. That's my simple kind of like, I'm not the biggest artist person ever, but that actually, I'm going to be using that the whole game, so it works, I suppose. But it's a skill I've a bit learned about that, but it's still, of course, limited as well. I need to be learning some JavaScript. I've been doing this mix of JavaScript combined to eventing, but of course it would be much better if you can make your own custom stuff. So let's make a glass, shall we? Glass. Let's make it like a 3D. 3D. That's actually very impressive on what you do over there. Can I find it somewhere online? Do you have it in RPG Maker forums? Your work, J Israel. Because if you have this first-person space game, I would be very interested to check it out. Yeah. Because if with everything done that sort of stuff, it sounds very interesting. Especially if you have a graphic design sort of background, it might even look very lovely. Indeed, indeed. I cannot say my stuff looks very lovely. It's kind of limited. It's very limited on what it can be. So let's see. We have a glass. Here we go. Here we go. Glass. And then we have to have the reflections in there. Reflections. Like lighting just coming like sort of like this. Here we go. I do like music from Final Fantasy gonna be listening in the background. I don't know how many of you actually played this game, the 11, the MMO game. Personally haven't. Here we go. Glass is here, and let's have some other reflections here as well. It's going to be white on this side of thing as well. Let's dim this a little bit. Here we go. Yeah, have you been doing dishwashing? I tell you, it's one of those things in comic books and such. People are like, oh, dishwashing. Oh. But of course, it's a very important thing to do, otherwise you are going to have some dishes that just don't, have a very unclean place for yourself. That's the style we're currently doing this whole thing in, dishwashing and all. Let's see how we're able to do that actually with eventing when we go forward, but it might be good, it might not be, I tell you. But we are going to, of course, not let that be an obstacle on our way. But here we go, a glass. Let me put some kind of, it goes like down over here, a little bit more dim. Here we go. Now we got ourselves, oh actually I kind of like that. Yeah, actually it's becoming very nice. Here we go. Those are the ones we currently have. And of course, when you have this sort of dishwashing stuff, you have to have them as a kind of dirty as well. So we're going to be doing dirty versions now. Dirty versions. And what sort of dirtiness we should be adding there, let me know. I'm going to be trying to do something like a green stuff. Yeah. Well, perhaps not. Let's use brownish colors. Brown. Oh yeah. Stains all over the place. Oh yes. Very nasty. Nasty indeed. Here we go. And then let's put some yellows in there. Oh. Ugh. when you see this, you want to clean this because, man, it looks disgusting, of course. I don't know what sort of food they have had just on this, but of course, we have to have them kind of like dirty. That's what we need. Let's add some grayish colors, kind of like dim the place, dim the whole thing. I have no animation for like I would like to have animation for like, wow, it's clean sort of fashion. I need to contact the animator I'm currently working with. Because of the current situation, it has been kind of slow on that. But, Zapek, what have you planned for the planned game? Let me know.
J. Israel. If you put in TL with a period and a com, then follow that with a slash followed by 55 THST, then you should be able to see the game.
Let's do that. Let us do the challenge. So, let's first go tinyurl. tinyurl.com. And then we should have our slash. And see the game. Alright, let's see. Alright, let us see the space game we got over here. Star Trek! Oh, nice. We have a Star Trek game over here. Let us see. Oh, we have Captain Picard! Oh, yay! Oh, no, Picard Kirk, I mean. Yeah. Here we go. Is this Enterprise? So you have done this like all the custom parts and such. Oh, I see, I see. And the sprites as well. I do like. I've seen some of these fan-created games, and the portraits are always like very like this pixelated, and those actually look like you have actually put some consistency on them. Nice. And Chekhov. Oh, is this from the old one? So I believe already begun. Oh no. Spock. Oh no. Har har. Well, you're lucky you're out on tomorrow, my friend. I cannot promise. Let's see. So the game now begins. Oh! Oh man, there's an actual space fighting thing. Your ship fire phases at enemy ship. You will have to use OK to enter button. Oh no. Cloaked Captain. While cloaked, they are not able to fire their weapons, maintain their shield. Ah, okay. I see. So you have this sort of like a space fighting thing. Oh, nice. That's actually impressive,
J. Israel.
That is impressive.
Yes, it was my attempt to recreate a game from my childhood.
I kind of like that. Yeah, that like look you have over there. And there's actually the systems actually look pretty lovely as well. And it's shooting you. Shoot, shoot, shoot. There we go. Shoot it. Goddamn Romulans. So you can like do this sort of different sort of things. I see. Spock is helping you out with information at the same time. But of course, you are destroying the ship, and you have own shield numbers there as well. I see. Kind of very nice, I tell you. Yeah, you are kind of in the leadership position of your ship. I like that. I like that very much, man. I very much actually like that. Yeah, we have to subscribe for this guy. Subscribe. You can go and check him out. Let me actually share the link for your viewers if you want to check that out. Actually, very impressive when it comes to RPG Maker. Yeah, very impressive indeed. You can now see the link. Very, very nice. I like that. I like that very much. So what happens in the end? Oh, there is a. Oh no, he's blinking. That's the captain. Fascinating. What is happening? I didn't follow the whole thing, but there's something happening over there. Don't you recognize your own face? There's some kind of an interesting plot over happening there. But still, very nice indeed. Very nice. Oh, actually, I've used some time for that. Very, very lovely. It kind of feels like it's actually, with the limitations of RPG Maker, very impressive. Very impressive indeed. Here we go. Let's add the same thing for the glass. Let's add some redness to that. Here we go. Very good, J. Israel, I tell you.
J. Israel.
They might be small or
the mouth animation was terrible. Haha.
I've seen some. I've actually done some mouth animation for my game in a sense that you have to have this sort of three sort of like different images, like like the, then it like looks very. I actually could be doing a kind of a mount animation tutorial. Because I've actually made it look pretty okay. I'm not, of course, a very great person when it comes to animation. There are some animation plugins there, but I was able to make a pretty nice animation, even if I say so myself. But it's a hard one, I tell you. It took me quite a lot of time, so don't shame yourself at all on that. I've seen many sort of games made with RPG Maker which are actually very visually impressive, and of course, I don't know, like, is that in the beginning for creation of the process? How long have you been doing of that sort of game you are currently working with? Here we go. This is now dirty compared to the clean one. Yes, I like that. I like that. One thing I need to, of course, fix is the black corners over here, because these need to be black no matter what. And the next one is forks. This is going to be easy process. Here we go. But it's actually very cool that, you know, having a childhood thing and putting it kind of in this sort of thing. That's what I very much like RPG Maker. You can actually make quite lovely little works with it. And kind of a reminiscent of like old design that actually isn't much used on the current games. I'm not very happy on the current game spectrum, but you know, the microtransactions and all this sort of
This
stuff.
has been nearly 9 months.
9 month process.
It has been a fairly overwhelming project, but I am just using this one as a way of teaching myself.
That's very good. Very good to, you know, get that sort of productive thing going, and at the same time you have something to show and release at the same time. That is actually very good. You have plan of releasing that? Are there these sort of fighting games for like space fighting games for this sort of Star Trek thing? Let me know. I've heard that the owners of Star Trek are very eager to actually strike down any sort of fan creations. That's what I've heard myself. But of course, that doesn't stop people from doing those. Indeed not. Looks a little bit rusted on here. Let me actually put some like no. Let's. It's not like that sort of food. Let me actually just like. Go. Yes. Now we got some food things on there.
I don't know that I would plan on releasing it unless I did a total reskin, as I am not looking to get sued. Haha.
I suppose reskin could be possible if you want to release on that sort of fashion, but still, as a fan-created project, very impressive indeed. But of course, not if you make a system, do not waste it at all. Like it's your system, you can use it on your own creations, very much so. So I very much recommend using it for if you have ideas.
Here's a thought: would people use modern eating tools in a fantasy setting?
I was thinking of chopsticks. But I'm just going to put these one right here, at least in the beginning. You're actually very, very good point on that. How did I not think that? That is actually a very good point, man. Because I'm currently making my system based on kind of a Chinese sort of like, there's this Wu Xing, this sort of like element and such, and I should have put chopsticks in there, but a spoon is actually one of the things that is used often, but I can delete the fork and that sort of stuff when later on, I suppose. So we don't make just this sort of like a modern American looking.
Chopsticks would be easy to draw, haha.
Yeah, they would. But I think it depends. In pixel art, I suppose. But there are some very lovely chopsticks design. I personally have purchased from China when I went there many years ago.
Some people put sex toys in their dishwasher.
Okay, I suppose. Well, that's some good. That's some knowledge, I suppose. I haven't personally. I haven't had that sort of habit. I tell you, I have to admit. But I suppose it makes sense. You know, those have to be keeping clean. Yes. So we have here dirty and clean. I think this is wonderful. Now we need to put them as a sprite for RPG Maker. So what we're going to be doing is taking the glass like this. Here we go. Glass like here. And now let's put them as a sprite. Let's have the basics go to 400, and then let's make a sprite from this. So we're gonna be putting it as a sprite, and then RPG Maker can view it. Because if we just put it as an image, I can potentially do that with if I want to, but I think I'm gonna be doing this like this, more or less. Here we go. Here we go. This is our lovely glass item, and let's see how it looks.
Will you be animating the clean dishes with a sparkle or something? Would that be too much trouble?
We shall see. Visual elements come the final. We have to do the mechanics first. I've already done some of the mini games, so hopefully this one goes well. But I have actually yet kind of a limited idea on how it's going to be. But that's of course going to be the final thing. That's going to be the final thing we're going to be doing. Of course, of course. Let me save the pixel thing.
Wispy whiskers. I could have
folder.
lived a happy life without ever having to learn that particular piece of trivia.
Yes, indeed. Perhaps something like that. Same for me. But of course, sometimes you can't really unlearn things without losing other things as well. Yeah, that's the sad thing about life. Yes. Man, yesterday I was watching this YouTuber who was streaming. He's this sort of streamer who streams people and shares their channels, and there was these people who are just like putting his hand on his trousers and, you know, just groping there himself on the stream, and I was just like, oh man. Not the streamer himself, but the one that he was watching, and I was like, oh man. People, you are on camera, you cannot do that sort of stuff. And I had to see that. I was not warned whatsoever, so yeah. Not good at all. Clean. Glass. Clean. Here we go. Let's make it 3,000 times bigger.
One day we will perfect brain damage so that we can unlearn very specific things. It'll help you enjoy your favorite movie over and over again.
But that, you are like, it's like you're destroying your machine at the same time. That's like unhealthiest thing. Man, I wouldn't do that. Because that's the thing, you have to have the unhealthy things. Like you have to have the bad experience there. Otherwise, like, life is not just all like happy moments and that sort of stuff. At least I believe that. Of course, you know, there's enough. Like, if a person sees enough and it damages himself, of course, that's a problem. But still, I would very much believe that. I would believe at least that that doesn't sound healthy at all. Oh man, brain damage, perfecting brain damage. That sounds very sci-fi. Of course, they are trying to do brain transfers right now. I read that they are trying to perfect that, meaning that, you know, there's a healthy body and then there's this old rich person's body, and they can like transfer heads from other body and other body. Gladly, they haven't been able to do that yet. But man, imagine all the rich people trying to get that.
Though what if you had your favorite movie erased from your brain and then watched it again and hated the movie the second time around?
Yeah, who knows? And brain, I wouldn't really try to mess with the brain, because you might have that sort of situation. Imagine losing the great experience like you had with that sort of thing. No, not nice at all. Very sad thing. And it's kind of, you have to let go of things. You cannot always just do that sort of stuff. I suppose you can, but it's kind of you have to learn new experiences. There are great things out there, indeed. And of course, you couldn't have nostalgia then, couldn't you? Yes, no nostalgia for you then. So that's the thing. Perfecting brain damage. That's a new one. Dirty. Here we go. Glass, dirty. I'm just saving the file names. Here we go. And the next one is the plate. Plato. Let's add that on the mix. But you can do a lot of things with RPG Maker, I tell you. Hopefully some animation going to be put over here, but we shall see how much. We have used 50 minutes on this, of course. Of course, I'm going to be using, of course, much more to create this minigame already. Hopefully, somewhat interesting to look at. Thing is, my problem is currently that I have this vague idea of what I want to do.
Whiskers.
But we shall see how it actually
Plato the plate.
Plato the plate, indeed. Have you read Plato? A kind of interesting sort of fella. At the same time, kind of some ideas I don't personally believe
J. Israel.
he had.
You could put a random variable in your dishwashing game wherein you sometimes break a glass dish.
I would like to make it kind of a skill-based thing. I'm going to be seeing about that, but yeah, we shall see.
J. Israel.
But
I don't really know enough about your mini game to be suggesting things. Haha.
You can suggest, of course. You're going to see how that happens. Like we're going to be actually starting it from the zero, so you can see it very much from the creation, from the beginning. So yeah, feel free to suggest. Of course, I appreciate that. I appreciate that quite a lot, actually. Thing is, now the unclean plate. Here we go. Thing is, though, we shall see how it goes. I have this idea of my game, mini game, to be that there's this sort of like a kitchen sink sort of place, and there's you have the time limit, and you have to if you rub it too much, the dishes they get broken that way, and that sort of fashion. And then there's the hot water, cold water. You can get your a hand burn, or if you have too hot water, or that sort of fashion. At least ideas, but ideas we shall see. Are they functional? Well, I was able to do this sort of farming mini game in a sense that there's this crop mini game. There's crops are taken from the field, and you have to catch them when the person throws them at you in this sort of fashion. Here we go. And this is clear. Good. So let's see how that looks in the background. Let's put that 300 times bigger. Here we go. 300. Here we go. And clean, unclean, clean, unclean, clean. Yay! Very simple, but still I suppose it works. Now let's save it as Plato the Plate. Let's see, we of course an unclean one first. You have any favorite Final Fantasy games? Or RPG games in general? I personally, my experience is limited on Final Fantasies. I know there's a lot of RPGs out there. And there are some actually Mardex and others, but Japanese RPGs have been kind of limited for me, at least. I've had these consoles that usually had those. I'm a PC person. No, Plate. God,
J. Israel.
Dirty.
It is 4 AM and I have work in the morning, sadly, so I'll have to take off, but thank you for the kind words.
Hey man, it's a pleasure, and it was very nice to see your space game in action. Hopefully we're going to see each other again, who knows. We stream every day over here at this time of day, and if you have it's 4 AM for you, man, you got to get to work, I tell you. All the best. What sort of work you do? Is that the graphic design thing? Anyways, whatever you are, I wish you a good time.
Dragon Quest is my second favorite.
Dragon Quest! I've actually played Dragon Quest 11.
Worth playing.
Yes, there's some good things, some bad things. I did like Dragon Quest 11's some things in it. Some things, the story was kind of generic, but of course...
Wispy Whiskers. Only played FF1 from start to finish. J. Israel.
I appreciate Jay.
Have a good day / night.
FF1 is an interesting one, the early ones.
Winking face.
Hey, thank you. I wish you a good day. We'll see.
Yes.
Good
graphic design.
Good luck for it, my friend. See you at another time. We're going to continue our process. Spencer Love, I've actually not seen you in here as well. Are you first timer on the channel? Dragon Quest is a very lovely one as well. Was it there have been 11 games so far, and all these spin-offs as well. The Dragon Quest build actually looked kind of interesting one, because it combined this sort of Minecraft building sort of stuff.
Spencer Love. 11 was good, but 8 will always be my favorite.
What is the special thing about 8? I haven't actually played that, so I don't know. 11 was kind of slow to start, and there's this sort of chosen one plot, which is kind of like...
Yes, first timer.
Oh, very excellent to see ya. Very excellent to see ya. How are you doing? Essentially, what is your experience when it comes to RPG Maker? Let me know. We are currently making a dishwasher mini game, and it's in its infancy. Yeah, in its infancy, that's the whole thing. And it's in creation. Currently we made some assets for it because we need some visual stuff in order to make it so. Hopefully it looks good. Hopefully we shall see. So, what is your experience with RPG Maker? And of course, I've very much been studying Final Fantasy 1. Because I'm currently making a game just like that. This sort of like a RPG that doesn't give you too much of insight on what is happening. Yet there's this big world to explore. And I want to go to old school sort of game design fashion. So like, you don't have everything told to you so easily sort of fashion. And I do like that. I want the people that play this game and succeed to be having just think a little bit, because nowadays you have to just press X to win sort of fashion, which I'm not a really big fan of. Of course, there are some good games that are simple and are meant to be simple, but still. Dirty Fork. Let me just save that as an asset. Here we go, and of course we need to make it 300 times bigger. Here we go, and this is the normal size of it. Doesn't really look like fog, doesn't it? Well. Let's have it nonetheless. And
Spencer Love.
The fork here.
I am well, thank you.
Oh, good to hear.
I've been dinking around with my love letter to Square Enix for the past few years, incorporating aspects of Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, and a few others.
Nice. What sort of love letter is that?
Mostly mushing my favorite parts together.
That has to be the one. That's the loveliest thing about game design. Of course, you have to, inventing new stuff, new fields and such. But if there's like the old abandoned game design that has been there but has been abandoned, you have to take it for your own hands. You cannot wait it to be developed by anyone else. You have to take it in your own hands. And that's what I love about RPG Maker, that you can actually do that. I'm not kind of like this game developer in that traditional sense, and I do like the fact that you can be that and still make a game, and that's why I'm very happy about RPG Maker. So what sort of idea you got? My personally is very much this: I want to incorporate things that have not yet been incorporated from Dungeons and Dragons. This like things that affect to each other, sort of like a sandbox, but combined with Final Fantasy and RPG systems, and of course a story that can be found or not, and can be enjoyed in different ways. That's the idea. And I've been putting like systems on like discussions, usually charisma and that sort of stuff, which is very prominent in Dungeons and Dragons. Is usually not gamified enough well, on my opinion. I'm doing this sort of system for it. I want to show it at some point. But yeah, like this, and that actually, I've been coding this sort of number values on like individual NPCs, how they think and this sort of stuff, and man, that has been taking a lot of time. Like, it's not like a proper AI, like from like a real AI who really thinks like these modern big AIs, but it's still very much like there's actually, it feels like there's someone else on the other side. At least that's the feel I want to have on it. But good to have a love letter indeed, Spencer Love. Let me know about your game if you want to share. Of course, no need to, because of course you need to keep your own excellent stuff. You have to keep, of course, protecting your own stuff and be in secret and such. Of course, you cannot be just sharing every goddamn eluukkanen who's on the channel and ask.
Wispy Whiskers.
Up to you.
Elu Discord, appreciators of old assets.
Yeah, Elu. It's actually Elokas. It's a company. That's the Elokas indeed. Elu Discord. We appreciate great talent over there. They've actually put the Discord link right there if you are interested to join. I know that many people are already parts of millions of different Discords around the world and such. Our Discord is kind of special in it that it's actually a place that we try to build a community ties. Like we have collaborations. We actually respond to people sharing their stuff in there, which is a pretty rare thing, I tell you, in some Discords. I mean by like 80% of Discords, which is actually a pretty big number. So that is the link for it if you want to join ourselves over here. It would be lovely to see it. We have around 170 members already. Indeed. And it's not just eluukkanen. There's actually, I want to really focus on it, that it has like this all the great people that work on their stuff. Like Zapek at one point, like he's putting this garden game. Hopefully he's interested to share that in there as well, you know. But it's of course all about people willing to share them if they're interested, of course. Like, it's an interesting project, the eluukkanen thing that we're doing. This sort of like a publishing house, but instead of being like a corporate, it's kind of like a community. It's still, of course, in process. We are still small, but we are getting there. We're getting there. We need this sort of village sort of feel. But Spencer Love, what sort of elements you have liked in these games like Dragon Quest, Final Fantasies and all this? I personally like
Whiskers.
Oh.
eluukkanen.
Lively, that's indeed.
Spencer Love. Thank you for the link.
Hey!
I'd be happy to poke in now and again.
Would we appreciate that? When you introduce yourself there, you get access to whole place, and then you can share very much on your stuff there. You know, there are also, if you want to like work together with some artists and composers, especially composers. There's some ones that actually are interested to work with people. Like, you can actually go there, contact them, and start working with them, because man, that's one of the things eluukkanen is going to be, this sort of collaboration server place. If you like are in need of animator or artist or composer, very much feel free to ask those people. They are very much interested to help. So now we have knife. Let me share. Knife cleaning. I suppose it's like that. And let's save it. Spencer, lovely to have you there. And of course, as Whisper said, it's in Finnish. Eluukkanen is lively. I very much like that word, eluukkanen. Like eläväinen, lively. Like that's the word in Finnish for lively, life, elämä, life, elämä. I very much like that word. Of course, I'm a bit biased because I'm a Finnish person myself, but
Whiskers.
But it's kind of exotic, possibly.
You should have named it Elivoimai. For a laugh.
Yeah, no, not really. It's kind of like if you do a longer name, it doesn't really catch with the English people. Eluukkanen is kind of like thing that actually English people can kind of easily say. That's the thing. Because I know, like, if I elinvoimainen, like that's too long. That's a bit too long. But it would be funny though. Yeah. A bit long though as well. What are you currently working with Whiskers? Do you have own stuff you're currently doing? Let me know. Person, of course, the assets we're still going to be putting these, and once we have finished putting these in, we actually start the real job. Yeah, this is just the child's play of things. Everyone can do assets, but only a few chosen people can do a minigame. Indeed so. A minigame of legend. Let's see. Let's save this as knife. Knife dirty. Dirty knife. Here we go. And the final one is spoon. Spoon. I just love saying spoon. It's kind of a lovely word, I tell you. English word, like it's in Finnish, it's like lusikka. It doesn't have the same sort of spoon. It doesn't have that sort of like same feel on it. Spoon. I know these Matrix memes about spoons and such, but I'm not really going there. Not going there today. But there are some excellent game elements in Dragon Quest, which I do like. It has kind of stayed the same in many years, but I do like the fact that even like the simple game, the first it's like this sort of like a kind of easy experience, but later on it always kind of gets very difficult and actually very strategic.
Whiskers.
That's what I like about RPG.
My projects are on hold. I'm really not confident in my abilities and want to study more.
I see. That is also a good way to go forward. I personally, I'm studying at the same time as doing projects, but of course there are different sort of strategies. I personally recommend studying quite a lot, but at the same time, it doesn't. I suppose does it hurt? It doesn't hurt. I don't know. Of course, it depends on the time you have on your hands. I have all the time because I'm making a company and such, of course. Spoon. But I do get what you say. Oh, let me see. Is the one clean? Of course it is. So let me save it as Spoon Clean. Here we go. We're currently listening some music from, can you actually hear it? Yeah, from Final Fantasy 12. If you have any suggestions on music, we could actually listen from the Dragon Quest. If your Spencer's still here, we could actually listen from Dragon Quest 8 if you're interested. Let's see, Spoon Clean and save. Here we go. Spoon. I did like one thing in Final Fantasy 15, which is this, like the foods give very interesting and good long-term buffs. I'm very much going to have that in the game I'm currently making, I tell you, because buffs from food items long-term, it kind of makes the food useful.
I would enjoy that.
Hey, let's do that.
I love the DQ scores.
Let us listen those in the background. Let me actually open those one after we do the spoon thingies. I personally like Final Fantasy 12. I don't know, I have this just... I do like that game. I have this sort of... Because one of the... it's not the first I played, but I like the systems in it. And it's kind of different from many RPGs. Kind of this offline MMO. But now, Dragon Quest 8. Oh, actually, this might be the first time for me listening it. Let's listen. Journey of the Cursed King.
Wispy Whiskers.
So it's actually orchestrated.
I really enjoyed the NPC banter in Mardek.
Oh, is it true? Let me actually just see one thing. Just be careful. Alright, good. RPG yeah, the writing in that game, I do like that. Mardek was a very lovely RPG, and I think it was reminiscent of Final Fantasy VI on its many designs and such. I'm very happy to hear that it's coming to Steam. I'm going to be actually playing it when it comes to Steam. Yeah, the theme of it's very lovely. The music of Dragon Quest, if they do not do the MIDI stuff, which is not that good sounding, then they are good. When they do orchestral stuff, it's lovely. In the Dragon Quest 11, I bought it for PlayStation, and there's no orchestral stuff in there. It's kind of nasty to play that game because of that, I tell you. Dirty. Here we go. What is the special thing about Dragon Quest 8? I've heard good things about it. I haven't actually yet looked into that. I'm currently studying Bethesda games and their interesting design, especially Daggerfall and Morrowind. I do like some of the things that are in those games, the open free roam ideas. Here we go. We got the assets done. Now let's actually go to the RPG Maker himself. I've been wanting to go to that, I tell you. Yes, I see myself many times. But now let's actually open the whole screen. Here we go. This is the RPG Maker. Can you see it? Yes, you can. Wonderful. Let me see. You can kind of well see it, hopefully. So let me put the assets in quickly. Here we go. Let's open the folders and such. Dragon Quest is quite something. I somewhat like it. Many of the things it did it with. Yeah. Let me go to this folder. I have, a secret folder. Here we go. Let's copy these ones and let's put these ones in. If you want to actually listen to some interesting soundtracks, one of them which I would recommend is there was this Harry Potter games made for PlayStation 2. And it was soundtrack was made by Jeremy Soule. Very excellent soundtrack. I do like it. Now let me
Spencer
actually open
Love.
the screen.
I would recommend 8 above any of the others.
Oh, you would?
It's very quirky as you would expect from them, but it also handles the emotional weight of some of the story quite well.
So the story is a bit better than Dragon Quest 11. I suppose it could. Dragon Quest 11 had this sort of like nobody character as the main character, If you make a silent protagonist, then make it so that you can actually have like role-playing elements in there.
Here's an example. Those zombies are really annoying. They're offensive to all my senses. Even taste.
Offensive.
And believe me, I know. Mainly because I licked one of them for a laugh.
Oh man,
Wispy
that's disgusting!
It wasn't as amusing as I thought it would be. I probably caught something. Like a disease.
Oh.
Maybe I'll die. Spencer Love. Less generic for certain.
Less generic is very good, because I personally, it's kind of like a turn off for me, like if there's like that sort of fashion. Let me see some assets over here. Spoon, let's try to find the spoon one we got. But yeah, like what, where's that from, Whisper Whiskers? Here's an example, let me see. That's the Whisper, that's the Mardek thing. Yeah, I just noticed. Mardek stuff, yeah. Mardek had a very kind of this sort of self kind of knowing the sort of dialogue, which is kind of fun sometimes, you know, and it kind of it fitted well with that. It didn't take itself too seriously. So we have the assets over here. Now the next thing is basically, the idea is, let me actually write it down over here so we are knowing for certain. So, dishwashing minigame, yay! And dishwashing minigame, if you don't pay, then you, I don't know. That's not any like that. That's not any force joking over that. Let's so dishwashing. Washing happens is part of life in restaurants and bars and inns around the kingdom. I need to put this like because I might look at this like few months after. I need to have some kind of written stuff over there around the kingdom. You can earn some coin by finishing the dishwashing challenge. Dishwasher minigame. If you have enough high score, you get a powerful item, of course. Of course, that's what we need to do. And let's add here dot. I always do this sort of thing because I might be looking at this many months afterwards. I need to understand how this goes. So basically, idea. We have like, well, what is the pesu allas? I need to actually look that word up. Google Translator, help us with this. Pesu allas. Wash basin. Is that the one? By a typical fixed wall on pedestal used to washing one of the hands and face. No, that's not
Spencer Love.
Dishes.
Commented code is readable code.
Indeed. You can just read it and it doesn't really affect much. But of course, I don't know, am I going to leave this on the finished versions? But it's a very good one for me when I develop the things on that. Indeed. So idea, wash basin. You wash the dishes. Like how do what's the? Anyways, you have
Wispy
wash
Whiskers.
basin.
Here's another. Too bad none of the zombie fellas wanted a spot of grog. If I'd been wrenched from me eternal slumber by the eldritch magics of the damned, I know I'd be dying for a pint.
Well, they don't have much of thirst on those zombie guys, so I don't really know about that. They thirst on the beer, but who knows? Yeah, the Mardek, I don't know, Spencer, are you familiar with the Mardek series? But there was this independent like a game developer who made like a flash game called Mardek some time ago, in 2010, which was very successful. And that's what we're talking over here. Now, you have a wash basin. No. I always forgot this. I just like Hana. Faucet, of course. Yes. Yeah, of course. You have a full faucet and a table with dirty. What's the word we used over there for the dish? Not for the. Goddamn. Let me go back. Utensils. Dirty utensils. Yeah, I'm not. This is not my first language. Hopefully you kind of. Hopefully that's all right for you. But now, You have a wash basin, faucet, trample with dirty utensils. In game spawns
Wispy whiskers.
dirty utensils.
You can just use sink for pace swillers.
Sink is, I think, better. Yeah, I think. Yeah, sink. Why? That's much better. Sink. Faucet and a table with the dirty utensils. Game spawns dirty utensils randomly on the table, and you need to wash them within a time limit. And then that's the kind of the main gist of it. The next thing is like the next mechanic I want to do is dirty utensils are cleaned by brushing them with let me just have another one. Lean. What is this sort of like puhe, I suppose. Lean. Cloth. I suppose this sort of cloth thing, yeah, I suppose.
Wispy whiskers.
With
also, faucet is tap in British English.
Faucet is a bad tap in British English. Well, we are going to be British this time, but yes, very true as well. Which we get very good.
Spencer Love. Scrub brush.
Scrub brush. Oh, yes. Man, I need to, like, thing is, I know somewhat of an English, but then you can see, like, I have these gaps in my, like, vocabulary sort of fashion, yeah.
Spencer Love.
Scrub.
Rag could work as well.
Rag,
4 lines here.
I suppose. Let's just have rag in there. For lean. Yes, indeed. By the way, Spencer, may I ask where you're from? Or did you ask that at least before? I know that Wispy is Finlandish, yes. And we have others who have been from United States and such. My memory sometimes on the places is a kind of, you know, sometimes I get it right, sometimes I get it wrong. And I want to connect the people, like the place, person, what they do. Like, it's kind of easy, just like, But now, back to the thing. Dirty utensils are cleaned by brushing them with a cleaning rag.
Spencer Love.
USA! Oh! USA! Nice. I want to say many times when I meet USA persons, I actually want to visit USA at one point. Hopefully see the big pine trees. But nowadays, I don't know what the current situation is USA though. Is it like a very sort of, is it alright or, I don't know. I don't know how the current situation affects it. Who knows? So now, if I'm brushing them with cleaning rag, if you brush them too hard, they get broken. Yes. In order, you can also use hot tap water to clean more quickly, but your hand can burn and you can drop the utensil. Here we go. That's the idea. So now we have like a lockdown sort of view what we want to do. So first what we want to do, dishwashing minigame. Dishwashing is part of life, blah blah blah. You have the sink, faucet, and a table with the dirty utensils. Game spawn dirty utensils randomly on the table, and you have to wash them within a time limit. You have to clean brushing with them. So we have already this sort of a brushing sort of rag over here, as you can see.
Spencer Love. Things are not great stateside, sadly, given the pandemic and how split people are over the whole deal, but I doubt that's just us.
It's in Finland as well. It's in Finland as well. I'm sorry to hear that, though, that's the reality of the situation over there. Because, of course, this shouldn't be really... it's not really good for common people. Many people lost their jobs and such. Not very good. Hopefully, things are better for yourself personally. that it's not that bad. Now let's try to find. So we have knife. It's in K. K is the real. Let's see, we have to find it. It's in. We have many little stuff over here. Oh, here we go. Knife. Clean. And then dirty. Let's add the versions over here. Actually, pretty nice, to be honest. Here we go. Let's delete these ones. I'm going to be using a lot of cell switches in here. And I'm going to be using one lovely plugin, which I recommend you, if you use RPG Maker, to really get anyone who is using Spencer Love and others. Hopefully it's better. With Finland, it's somewhat okay. They are opening school soon. That's the thing.
I'm all right myself, thankfully.
Good to hear.
Just taking the days as they come and their various challenges as they happen.
Indeed. Indeed. So, we can very much get through with this. Indeed. It's going to be a difficult one. But our ancestors have gone through even worse. That's what I personally have on my mind when thinking about this whole situation. In Finland we had world wars and such, so yes, many bad things have happened. Here we go. Fork. So we go fork. We got ourselves knife. And then we got ourselves a spoon. These are going to be just a template spoons and this. Now let's add the glass one. Glass is in glass clean. Here we go. Actually, the glass became really nice looking. I tell you, I like that. Glass, and let's copy them. Here we go with dirty one over there. Yes, look at that. Ugh. And the final one is plate. Plate or plate. Plate! Clear! Let's look at how that looks in the game itself.
Wispy Whiskers. Ether restores 100 MP and is probably made of liquefied fairies or something. Who knows?
I remember that from Mark.
But does it matter? You'll drink it anyway, even if you found it lying around in some manky cave.
Yeah, I really much like that game, I tell you. I want to play it at some point and hopefully show it here even. Because man, Mardek had some good parts in it. It is sort of like I like this sort of like some games do it badly, some games they do it well. This sort of self kind of a notification, they kind of understand this sort of understanding of themselves. And I think Wispy Whiskers Mardek does that. Yeah, indeed so. It was not made with RPG Maker though, so that's a shame. At least in the RPG Maker stream, who knows. But I tell you, Ethers is this kind of like tradition of RPGs. I want to very much, if I have a like healing item for the MP, it's going to be very much limited in many ways. So we're now going to be testing how it looks in the game. Hopefully I'm actually able to do that. Yeah. I've been testing it a little while on this screen. We shall see. We shall see how that goes. Thank you for, by the way, being and watching this stream so far. We have been streaming around
Spencer Love.
1 hour 20 minutes.
Self-awareness in a game is one of my favorite gimmicks.
It's actually a pretty lovely one. Yeah. Especially combined with good writing. It's like, voila. Like a French dish.
Wispy Whiskers. It was, at first. Then Toby made his own engine.
Yes, Toby is a very clever guy when it comes to doing this sort of stuff. And I'm loading this goddamn game of mine. Here we go. This is just a template main title screen. I've actually made a more lovelier title screen already. Some of you might have seen it in the past streams. Here we go. This is the game we got over here. We got this dishy thing. Yeah, here we go. We can like that sort of stuff. And then we have the other plate thingies on there. So we are going to be making this, that this plate thingy is below characters. So it kind of is, yeah, like that. Thing is, I want to have the tap water now to go, so we're gonna be making a tap. Yes, indeed. Let's try to Google tap and see how that goes. A tap. Dragon Quest has, I think, a composer, this same composer for all of this time, if I remember. Yes. Here we go. We have a tap over here. Yeah, made in China, of course. I'm going to be copying this outlets, and of course going to make a custom one over here. That's what we're going to be doing. Now let's get back to the picture editing program over here. Yes, indeed. By the way. So far we've been streaming every Wednesday the RPG Maker creation, and so far so good. Thing is though, we actually put it like 10% of the size that it originally had. Here we go. And let's make a custom piece over here. Let's make them in the same kind of size period. I think this is actually pretty nice, but I want to make sure that the water comes from the right position. Here we go. I'm not going to be just copying this, I'm actually going to be adding something, layers on it. Here we go. Let's make a custom one like this. Here we go. Yeah, and he actually, Toby Fox actually made all of the paths himself for that game. So very much a huge inspiration for me. For this game especially, huge inspiration. Of course, they're not going to be directly same type of games, I tell you. They're going to be a bit different, but inspiration nonetheless. I have huge respect for this person. It's kind of sad what happened to him in a sense. I think it's like the... I don't know about universities, all places are universities bad, but I think it's kind of like many people, like regular people, recently have been influenced by this sort of identity things, in a sense, like I don't mind identity sort of politics if they don't go too far, but in recent times they have been affecting like normal people, have been like just becoming this sort of like and unfortunately that's kind of But I've looked at his work, I think that has affected to him
Wispy Whiskers.
I might be wrong, of course.
Potion.
Feel free to criticize.
A concoction of bleach, vinegar, urine and a pinch of brown sugar.
Oh man.
Its aroma alone can melt steel, but fortunately for you all it does in this game is restore 100 HP. Man,
that's disgusting. I wouldn't drink that sort of stuff, even if I would be in grave danger, I tell you. Man, I tell you. Yeah, here with my art making skills, I'm
Spencer
just having a
Love.
tap and making like...
Some of those descriptions sound similar to what you'd see in a game like Kingdom of Loathing.
Oh, I'm actually check that out. Kingdom of Loathing. What is that? Browser-based multiplayer role-playing game designed and operated by Asymmetric Publication 2003. Oh, I see. What sort of... How does it look? Ah! Adventure is you!
Onion BRO.
Kinda like that.
That's the potion description from Mardek, holy shit.
Hey Onion bro, good to see ya! Might be first time seeing you as a comment writer, but that is Wispy Whiskers is posting these lovely descriptions from Mardek.
A cream. Good news. I think in your area.
We have many people joining here. We're doing some tap water designs, indeed. Tap water. We are doing our dishwashing mini game, indeed. If you get to restaurants, you have to do some dishwashing. If you don't have money, that is. Are we doing cream? We are an onion bro. Yes, that is from Mardek, indeed. Huge inspiration from that game. Let me actually show some pictures from Mardek. Can you see them here? Mardek. I've done also some remasters for them. I know if some people are interested. I don't know. Now this is the game basically on this sort of browser-based thingy. Let me actually just open it. Yay, like that. And the Kingdom of Loathing one is the one that I had before over here. Yeah, like this sort of fashion. I don't really know what that is, but Dwes Dwa Lordus Muscle Mystical Mooksy. I don't know what the Mooksy thing is. How are you doing, Cream, today? And Onion Bro as well. Good to see you have some new faces and some old faces as well. Yeah. We're listening to some Dragon Quest VIII music. We are doing our tap water design. Here we go. We are doing some tap water and stuff. This might be just placeholder stuff, but I need some visuals as soon as possible. Because the minigame without visuals, it's kind of not a minigame at all.
Spencer
I want
Love.
to have the tap.
Moxie is like chutzpah.
What is chutzpah? Like that's a new word for me. Chutzpah. Like ips is like ips. That's like the same kind of like. That's how much this means to me right now.
Wispy Whiskers. Marberry. This succulent, juicy, cyan berry restores
the quality
50
of
MP.
Audacity. It's good or
It
bad.
also
This is from
causes
Hebrew.
nausea, hallucinations and malignant tumors, but that's not relevant.
Manaberry, succulent juicy cranberry restaurants 50 MP. It can nausea, hallucination, and magnetic and tumors. Oh boy! But that's of course very much not on the table. Man. Very much lovely one those are. I personally like also the simplicity design of the first games and the fact that hopefully they will do when they come to Steam that the first capture is free and then the other ones are like paid ones. I personally that would have been something I personally would have put there. Because of course then you're going to get the new generation to play, because of course you have to get the new blood in there, otherwise the franchise is going to be kind of like not a franchise at all, especially for the new people. Not many new people know that game. Yes, indeed. Unfortunate it is. Kingdom of Loathing, have you played it yourself? I like this sort of early time MMO RPGs. Can you say them to be a massive online multiplayer games though? I have to question that sort of categorization. I have to do that. Because of course it's a marketing tool. Massive online multiplayer games! And of course there's many people who follow massive online multiplayer games. But of course, hardly many of them are massive online multiplayer games. In their real sense of the word. They are not like World of Warcraft or like Final Fantasy 14. Here we go. Tapper. Let's make that as a sprite in our game just quickly over there. It isn't too similar to the other one. No. I need to have some. I'm going to be actually editing it a little bit. It's not. I cannot do direct. I'm going to be editing it later on. But let's just leave it there right now because I do
Spencer
need to
Love.
have some stuff there.
Yes. They came out with another game called West of Loathing with the same kind of charm as Kingdom of Loathing.
Oh, nice. Very nice indeed. Very nice. Good to see these sort of like games being. Oh, let me just like to do this sort of stuff. Here we go. I'm lazy today, so I'm going to be just like. This is how you put the tap water on. Of course, this is not how to really do it, but these are the sprites we currently have on that. Very good, very good. We're going to be, of course, editing those. I'm a lazy person, I tell you right now, because I cannot spend too much time. I need to get to the mechanics of the things. I like this sort of simplistic game sort of looks, I tell you. Because you could do a lot with them.
Wait. People in the game have running water. Holy crap, they are advanced.
Well, not really. Actually, it's not that advanced thing like aqueducts. If you have like just aqueduct high enough and you have pipes coming down, even Romans, they had running water because of that. This is for the capital, because the capital city has an aqueduct near them. So of course they have running water, of course. Some peasant
Spencer
villages,
Love.
not that much.
All things can be explained with magic.
Yes, magic, of course. I hope I'm not going to be explaining that with magic with these people. But I get that. I want to actually, there's a reason for things, but that's why there's the running water, at least in that place. Because there's an aqueduct, there's a real aqueduct, there's a lever, in fact. You can sneak to the city using that aqueduct. Getting to the city is not as easy, and in other games you have to actually have a kind of reason to come to that place. That's the thing. Here we go. Here we go. Let's copy that. Let's put these together. They are not that advanced, to be honest. There's the game itself. Many places are like a medieval sort of fashion. And I'm going to be changing the tap water thing to kind of like a pump or something like that.
I appreciate the aqueduct explanation much more.
Indeed, yeah, very much so. But of course, when you go to like smaller villages, there's going to be like these sort of pumps. Like even in my countryside place, like you get to like people, and then you're going to have some things coming from that. That's going to be how it's going to be in countryside places. Well, plumbing technology, I don't know where that was invented, but I think like
Wispy whiskers.
If I really have
and
to
they
do
have
like
taps made of solid steel. Man, they must have resources to spare.
Well. Let's make this rusty then. Let's make it iron tab. I don't know, is that actually a thing you could have? Yeah. Plastics and steel. That's the medieval sort of landscape over there. Here we go. We got ourselves a tap thing. Yeah, kind of a placeholder, I tell you. Very much a placeholder thing. But I need to get the water from those. Because of course I need to have some visuals. Let us save it right away and let's get to the RPG Maker program inside of it. So, let's have a tap. Here we go. Alright, let's put that into the game itself. Oh no, actually, I need to change the folder. Tap water. Here we go. Also, music in Marduk was nice. I actually liking this music in Dragon Quest currently that we're having here. Let's have the information on the side. Let's have the tap water thing. It's called tap, so it's in. Can you see things? You cannot see things. Now you can see things. Good. So now we have a tap over here. Here we go. So now we're going to be doing tap. I'm going to be doing this is going to be off and on sort of fashion, and we're going to be having it like it doesn't look bad, but at least something visual happens with it. Now we're going to be using one of our lovely tools over here, which is we're going to be using a water as a projectile. Indeed. So let's go to the no death scenes. That system is already in place. So let's go to this sort of fashion over here. Well. I'm trying to find the right room I have for these systems. These are my test rooms I'm using for the game currently. Of course, I'm not going to be included in the final game, I tell you that much. So it might be final time you're gonna see these ones. Here we are. No. Here we go. So the projectile system, this goes to oikea, this goes to down. Here we go. Let's copy these ones. Let's go to the dishwashing minigame. Dishes, and it's called like that. And let's have something to come out of here if the tap water is on. Let's just test it right away to see does it actually work. Here we go. We are starting getting resources in. I want the water to be like just going down, and it will switch off one of the cell switches if it hits. Here we go. We have to have a sprite for the water though, that looks better. And also we need to put this screen a little bit more downwards. But you can see what I'm going to be doing with that tap water thing. Hopefully interesting looking sort of fashion. Let's put it like here. Let's put it down here. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes indeed. Yes, I like that. Actually, a very nice spot even. That's good. But now we're going to be adding it as there's too much water on there. So let's go to the picture editing program. Let's make it just a water sort of drip sort of fashion. Yes, indeed.
Wispy whiskers. I'm surprised they can even make steel. In medieval times, steel makers were fewer in number than kings, and the craft was a close secret kept by those who were lucky enough to have one in their service.
I tell you, I'm not going to do steel. This is not going to be a steel tap, I tell you. I'm going to be editing it later on. I get what you say. It was It's not like everybody knows how to make steel sort of fashion. Yeah. By the way, Spencer, if you're still here, you don't need to tell, of course, all the things on your game. Of course, you have to keep things on like secret. I'm just curious, like, are you currently working on the game that you mentioned about putting the things that you like about, like the good about things and that sort of things together? Because the thing is this. So you made the sort of the space adventure, this sort of fighting game, and now you're doing, and then you're working on the other one at the same time. I don't know. I've been working on this for 1 year now. I need to be working very actively to get some stuff finished because I want to get into that sort of point. I tell you. Let's add this. Let's make this
Wispy Whiskers.
Here we go.
The Gundalad family might be one of the few.
Gundalad. They are the very greats, I tell you. Gundalad. Hey, you still remember Gundalad? Wonderful. Gundalad the White. And Gundalad the Grampy. Yeah, that's how it goes. That's one of the characters in Final Fantasy the game. Indeed. And you might think, hey, that's a name I recognize. No, it's a very, very interesting old name. Thing is,
Spencer Love. I did try to send a link to my website, but yes, I am working on it actively.
Oh.
I have a few screenshots on there of my game.
Can you send kind of a tiny Earl thing? If you want, of course, up to you, up to you. I want to see what that is, if you want to show. I couldn't see that, unfortunately, on the chat. Can I see it in the chat somewhere? No, I could not. By the way, we are taking music requests at the same, on this. I think I'm going to be listening some Pokemon music next, who knows, might be, I have no idea. Or Marduk music, we're gonna actually do that even, because we have talked about Marduk. Yeah, Pokemon is kind of too mainstream for us, for this crowd, too mainstream.
Spencer Love.
I don't know, Pokemon is lovely as well.
Yes, I will make one here shortly.
Oh nice, I'm really interested to check it out. I am interested to see what sort of stuff people do. Thing is, that is the thing. So we have here a water sort of thing coming out of a tap. Here we go. I'm actually going to make it less of a drip and more of a like it's coming from the like this sort of fashion. Yes, here we go. I might be doing it wrongly, but who cares about how to do things right here? Yeah. Who cares about that? We care about the results, and we need results done right away. Here we go. This is my water thingy that comes out of the tap water thing. Here we go. You can see it? Yes, of course you can. Good. Good. And let's make it a little bit lighter. Like this.
Wispy Whiskers.
Here we go.
Now here's what I don't understand. Why would a precious steel maker trail a bunch of goblins?
That's the thing, Gundalad is this sort of fellow that is, like, the dwarves are very scarce in number, and very much, they have this sort of active guerrilla warfare in the tunnels below. Constantly, because their original home was destroyed by goblins and other creatures, and they are this sort of diaspora thingy going on around places, and they are, like, even few dwarves that still exist and are alive, they have to, like, do things on their own. They cannot just, like, let's get peasantry to do the problem, because they are very much just, that's not what they can do. And one of the big things about the game is trying to find a home for the dwarves who are on their side. That is the thing about the game. I get that is very actually good question.
Spencer Love. It's tinyurl.com followed by a / and yard 75D4BB.
Let us check out your stuff. What is Chuxpass? So it's like a shoot by outer city, good or bad, some kind of like a, I don't know what that is. Entered in English American Yiddish word. Yiddish word? Oh, I don't know much about Yiddish, to be honest. But now, let's see. tinyurl.com. And let's do a / and let's do UDID. Alright, Vitularium Gaming. Let me actually put that. Oh, you can see it on the screen. We are Vitularium Gaming. We're standing by and for the joy of gaming. Well, that is something I can stand for. I said, young game filled with their dreams and creation. Now they have planned a new fortune generation of games. I see. So you're working on this sort of fashion. I see. Are they custom parts made by you?
Okay. So, why doesn't he go to the king and trade his services for military support for his cause?
Problem is, the kingdom doesn't really like dwarves, because basically they're all like there's this mountain, big mountain that nobody has really taken care of and conquered, and they used to be the dwarven home, but now it's infested by this sort of like well creature. And the thing is, the kingdom really thinks it's best to have the dwarves to be sort of like weak instead of being this sort of like a troublemaker thing. Like, it is this sort of like a power dynamic they have. And King doesn't really want them to be that powerful, to be honest. And that's why you are going to get King angry if you help the dwarves. That's the thing. Inheritance, I see. I like this. Where are these sprites from? Have you done them yourself? Very lovely. So there's RPG Maker skills. There's some of these like I would very much try to change the colors of these. Like they see very much RPG Maker-ish, I suppose. Like if you, of course the game is still in creation, but I like the system on how they like. Yeah, I like that looks.
Spencer Love.
But very very nice.
The art is not made by me. Very DLC from Kadokawa, I believe, and then some art and icons sourced from the forums.
I see. Kind of same that I did, but I personally wanted to change that and make custom parts because of the fact that, there was this big scandal in RPG Maker forums that some of the parts that were shared by people for free were actually like they was from a big company and such, and there was this big, huge like uproar about that because the games could get in trouble by having those unlawful parts in there. But I see. 2 knights in the king's service called what they seems normal is somewhat mundane. The task, Malcontra village of Linnea. What awaits them, however, is far from mundane, as they are soon in the midst of conspiracy, subterfuge, and a whole lot of confusion. Well, I like that description. Let's see upon your Twitters. Oh, that's just a Twitter homepage. Anyways, very lovely indeed. And the name is, what was the name? Let me still copy this in there, and then we continue the process. Virgil Gaming, Joy of Gaming. Gotcha. Gotcha indeed. Now, let me put this one in 400. 400, here we go. Good luck for the process. If you want to share the process in Eloga server, you're more than welcome.
Spencer Love. I remember that. Yeah, I made sure to source it from the artists directly.
That is very good. That is very good because man, you don't want to have your game to have some kind of like that sort of feature. Oh, I just remembered. I don't need to make a sprite of this. Nice. I just remember. Very good. Let's listen to some Marduk music while we're at it. Of course, Dragon Quest is lovely, but of course we're going to be listening other ones as well. So let's see Marduk Ost. Here we go. Let's put it like this. Marduk Ost. Here we go. It's kind of this MIDI sort of a soundscape. Handmade by the developer himself, so of course I respect from
Wispy Whiskers.
Even so, the king must be very stupid not to exploit the dwarf and despair.
Not to exploit the dwarf despair to make them subservient. Or they must have some long and bloody history.
The problem is, the kingdom is currently allied with the elves. There's the elven kingdom in the woods, and dwarves are not that fond of elves. And that's the thing, they're getting much more useful things from the elves, because of course there have been 200 years of history between these kingdoms. There have been even very, very big history between them, so of course they cannot be very much seen with these nasty rascal dwarves. But of course, there are some factions within the kingdom that would want to help the dwarves, because of course they can get the weapons smithing, but the king himself is not fond of that, very much so. Let me just save this file quickly that we have already. Save. Let's go to the game folder. Of course, I'm going to be keeping my folders secret. That's far as I do. But now, I will tell you which folder I'm going. I'm going to the system folder, and I'm saving a picture called water. Oh no, actually, it's picture folder, yes. So, picture folder and water. Here we go. Water is saved. Let me still make it a little bit bigger. And let me put the monitor so you can see it. Oh yeah. And let's put the water thing in here. So we like these are very lovely, this projectile thing. I would recommend to any project this sort of plugin we have over here, which is called Projectile by Galv. Map projectiles. You can actually use projectiles and change switches. Like I'm doing archery in my gaming with that system. Very excellent. Here we go. Ah, it's on the wrong position. That's good. Let's make it on the other side. Like this. That's kind of one of the big boss musics in this game. Oh yeah. Here we go. Let's try one thing which I'm going to be trying out. Let's put these frames to 5. I want to see how it looks. Here we go. Kinda not like what I wanted to, but still. This is like the tap water thing. It just comes from the like that. Let's make the distance of the tap water to be like, I think it's the 4th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, I suppose. If I remember right. Modern musics and modern game, as you appreciate the descriptions over here. Very lovely to play. I recommend any RPG fan to try that out. Here we go. And let's make it so that if I press this whole thing, it's going to be self switch. And let's go to the switches, like from here, let's example. Tap on. Is on. And this is tap on. And if tap on, then the water is going to come out of that. Here we go. We are doing process, people! Hopefully you're enjoying our little game development stream over here. Let me know if you are, what are your thoughts on our current progress. What is the position actually need to press? Ah, with the down. I need to be making so that we have, I can press other spots as well. Spots need to be pressed. Here we go. Let's put it that if you put it again, it goes off. Here we go, like this. Now we got some position, like very simplified. Yeah, you can just press the whole thing and the thing happens. Here we go. Yay! Yay! I like that. I like that very much. Good. So we have tap water working. Yay! But now the next thing is I'm going to be doing a simple whiteness in here on the sink. I'm going to be doing the sink parts quickly. And the sink is going to be having parts that are going to be very helpful for us.
Spencer love.
Spencer!
Love it when the tap works.
It is very lovely looking. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Next one is, of course, we're going to be making that we can clean actually the template dish, the utensils. Yes. Let's add the sink tiles though. So we are going to be having 16.16. Yeah, 16-bit is the first time we do. And then we go with white. Of course we have white already. Let's add a little bit of color to it. Let's make it like this. Here we go, like this. Let's go a little bit for the blue side of things. Like this. This is the color we have. This is one of the tiles. let's have... I'm not going to be making very complex tile systems over here, but I'm going to be making the sink tile like dim a little bit. Yes, like that. I'm going to be adding later on better tiles on that, but yeah, still. Yeah. Let's add those tiles in. I'm going to be a little bit doing a monitor switch over here. How's your day going, Spencer? By the way, may I ask, like, what is the main thingy you do? Like, do you, like, did you mention what you do? Like, you mentioned, like, someone, I think, who left the stream, which was, of course, who was that? Jay Israel, yeah, that was the artist piece, the person who made the space thingy, if I remember right. Yes. What do you, like, do you do art yourself? Do you do music like I do? Let me know. Oh yeah. Now, what we need to do is, let's put this as a tile set. Let me open tile sets from the game, and let's make sink tile sets. It's going to be on the background, and it's just going to be looking visually more pleasing. The visual stuff is what people see, and that's why it's important. Visual stuff is important. Consistency, visual style, it's super important.
Wispy Whiskers.
Wispy!
My favorite track from Mardek is the Muriace theme. Not the battle theme, that is.
I like the Muriace
Spencer
theme.
Love. My day is alright, it's 4 so I will soon turn in. I work at a gas station. I have dabbled in my own art and music.
Nice.
Lately I've focused on coding. Spencer
Godon.
Love. Coding and development.
What is Godon? Something like Godon! Something like a very Asian thing. Godon! Something like that. But anyways, coding and development. Oh, I see. Own art and music? Oh, nice. What sort of tools do you use? And the most importantly, so you in the gas station. That is quite something. Gas station work. I'm not sure what sort of it is. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know. I'm trying to be zooming back. I did zoom a little bit. Anyways, let me just have it like that. Anyhow, now we're going to be putting the tile sets on. You see some of the ones that I've done in here. Let me just see. Do you actually see that? Yes. This is the one I've done for the Chinese house, indeed. And the next one is going to be that we're going to be doing the tap water thing. Here we go. Let's go. One of the problems might be that these are different sized. Hopefully not. I'm going to be checking still out now. It has to be 16.16 every side of the matter. Alright, good. Because I made a mistake when putting these at some point. Okay, no mistakes, good. So let's put these ones in here. Sink. Kitchen sink. How does a sink look? We'll be finding out. Finding out as we go. Here we go. So when you do a tile set, you put it like this.
Wispy
it's good to have
Whiskers.
this sort of background sort of stuff.
Will there be mushroom houses?
Mushroom
Spencer
houses? I
Love.
haven't actually thought about that.
GIMP for art. I mostly do photo manipulation as a hobby.
It's kind of lovely.
Music I've used Fruity Loops but also play a few instruments myself.
Oh, nice.
As far as gas
I play
station
piano
work,
myself.
I recommend avoiding it haha.
I get ya. Must be. I don't know why the customers. I don't know about American gas stations and Finnish gas stations. They're actually pretty decent. I know this gas station actually. The rent owner of my my place when I'm in my city is basically a gas station owner. A very nice person. He has a problem because of the current situation. His business is not as usual. There's not that many people that come to the station nowadays. Anyways, here we go. The sink. But yeah, I can get why you say that. Must be some rough customers sometimes at least. Sometimes at least. Who knows? I haven't been on a gas station, so I do not in America, so I don't know on those experiences. But of course, a job and money has to come from somewhere. And personally, I was in that sort of job, in the sort of storage job a year ago, but now I'm doing this sort of full time.
Spencer
full-time
Love.
staff.
Many customers are pleasant, but we do get bad apples that ruin the bunch.
That's usually the nastiest. You got the nice ones, and then the bad apples come there and ruin everything. I tell you, that's not good. Not good at all. Here we go. The sink, kitchen sink. I think we should have like a metallic look on it, but I don't care. I'm already too far enough for this. Here we go. Kitchen sink! And of course we're going to be having ourselves our lovely kitchen sink thing. Which is, let me just put that one over there. Here we go. Let's make it transparent so I can know where the tile lines go. You can actually do this with GIMP as yourself, like you can actually make your own custom tiles. I would recommend for some projects trying it out. It takes some time, I tell you, but it's lovely to like affect the visual style of the game. I do like that.
Wispy whiskers. And the worst part. You still have to be nice to them.
Yes, you cannot shout at them. God damn, go to hell. You cannot say that. But of course, it's kind of good in all kind of life situations.
Spencer Love.
To not really.
In working on making web development a full-time job, or game development if I can really have my way. But as you might imagine, it takes time.
It takes time. It takes time to build your brand and such. If you want to come to eluukkasen and perhaps be in there, like that's the thing, we're going to be a full company in the sense that we actually are going to be paying people for their stuff in part of their project, and especially if we get the publishing side of things right, which of course still in works, we might get chance to get your stuff and other stuff like out there in other places. Which of course I'm not going to promise sky and heavens on that, but still that's the plan of things, because there's a lot of need for games. But one of the things I note, and I know from the game releasing side already, even though I haven't released anything yet, is the fact that it's a very high intensity competitiveness situation, and that's why it's good to have people together helping each other out.
Oh well, serves as practice for sarcasm, I guess.
But I don't know. It's good to treat people well. Always I tell you that. It's always good. Because if some
Spencer
people treat
Love.
you well, of course you cannot be
It
too
sounds
nice for
like
them,
a great opportunity one way or another.
Could be, possibly. Yeah, we shall see. I'm currently, I've got some funding recently on stuff, but the thing is, have to be still working on to get it active. But would be a very big honor to have people such as yourself. You're making your own game and such. Perhaps, possibly, there could be something. Who knows? As I say, I'm still very pragmatic. I'm not going to be like, it's going to be the most awesome things ever, like this sort of stuff. I hate those sort of like false promises. But still, if you're interested, just check it out. Would be lovely to have that there. But now we have a kitchen sink over here. Let's add still one kind of nice element on it, kind of this metallic line. Metallic line like here. Here we go. Kitchen sink. Of course, we have to have that. A metallic line. I don't know. We have to have. I have to make the resource parts for this. Otherwise, it's not a mini game whatsoever. I know people might have wanted to see more on the RPG Maker side, and we're going to. Don't you worry. Don't you worry a thing. That's gonna happen. Here we go. Let's put it like, yeah, nice. We got it. Kitchen sink! And we even have the drain going down there, as you can see. So that's our little resource. Very simplified, but still. It works. It works. Then one thing I'm still going to be doing is the table. That's the final thing I'm going to be doing visually over here. I promise, that's the final thing. I need to make the table so I can have like the other dishes and such on those. Here we go. Murian's theme, I actually pretty much like the many themes they have. I like the overworld theme very much. This sort of like it's like you are traveling.
Whiskers.
This sort of feel
That's something on which we disagree, my friend. If you treat people badly and there are no repercussions, you'll never feel compelled to change your behavior.
I agree on that. Perhaps I may have said that wrong. I do have to agree on that. There has to be, like, I've had my situations in life. I needed to stand up for myself and others as well. Yeah, they have to do that. You cannot just treat people that are treating you badly in a good way. Of course, of course. But, you know, treat others as you would treat yourself. If we were doing nasty things, of course, you would treat yourself nastily as well. So, I suppose there's a logic in there. Who knows? Yeah, being like, I personally, you know, not all people are Christians, but I'm a Christian. There's this line in Jesus, like, turn your other cheek. And I've been very much thinking on that, like, does he really mean it like just... lie down and let other people treat you badly sort of fashion. I'm not really sure of that. But it's very much a big interpretation thing, I tell you. Well, that's the biggest thing I'm actually thinking on it when it comes to Christian literature. I don't really know how to really feel on that. I haven't really thought about that too much. Because in this life, if you let others to walk over you, then you're gonna have bad time, I tell you. And of course, people here know that. People here know that stuff. Of course, good to be sort of always, you know, skepticism in healthy respect is good. To really a questioning, especially if you use logic in that. Very much, very much. Here we go. I know some people, you know, really don't care about that, you know, Christianity and such, but personally, I'm growing with that. It's a different Christianities in different places. In Finland, it's a very different from, let's say, Catholic Church. Oh man, not fond of that, I tell you. Of course, not all Catholics, but I tell you, it depends. It depends. Again, let's not go to religion talk perhaps too much. It's a complicated issue, and sometimes I've noticed they get heated. There have even been religious wars coming from that. Yeah, religious wars. Imagine that.
Spurgilema.
Spurgilema!
A person only has one cheek to turn.
Yeah.
Restream.io.
2 cheeks?
Trophy, congratulations. You've received 100 messages today with Restream chat.
Well, thank you very much, people, for being chatting over here. Spurgilema, Wispy, and Spencer. We have Spurgilema from yesterday, and Spencer Love is a person from today.
Hello,
Eiko, how are you doing? Good to see you. Pleasure to see a French fella. Good to see you. How are you doing? We are currently doing a dishwashing minigame, and I'm going to be putting this on screen soon. Let me just save this on my folders, and it's going to be tap dish. That's going to be the name of the assets. How are you doing, Aiko? It's a painter from a lovely country of France. Good to see you. We have Americans, we have Finnish people, we have all sorts of folks in here. Very, very lovely. Now, okay, now let's get the monitor back on the screen. Let's have, let's make a tile set. Yeah, let's go onto a tile set thingy. Let's just go over here. Let's make this tile set as, what is the tile called again? Tap dish. Tap dish, here we go. Tap dish. It should be working now. It should now. Nice. Good, let's leave them open for now. So, dishwashing minigame. Here we go. Let's change the...
French friend is fine, smiling face with open mouth and smiling eyes.
Good to see. How are you doing? Let me know. Have you been... I saw your painting on the camping side of things. I like that. You do this sort of like... very, very interesting sort of style of painting. Very... you know, you say the naive style of such. You know, it's kind of like... It's kind of lovely. Here we go. A little tap water thingy over there. And let's put it like this. Here we go. The kitchen sink is in creation, ladies and gentlemen. And let's have the table over this side and table over this side. And here we go. And then this one like this. We can actually put this one later on. Better looking. But yeah. Looks nice enough, I would say. Let's have the wall like this. Yeah, we are cheating a little bit, putting the wall
Wispy
like that.
whiskers.
Funny!
Funny. The only reason religion is a forbidden subject is because people can't be civil in their discussion.
Very true. People just can't. It's very hard. It's difficult. I don't know. It depends. It depends. Of course, I'm not saying I'm the rightest person in every sort of fashion, especially... different sort of people, wispy whiskers you mentioned,
Acoc.
and such. It depends.
Yes, I try to draw humans more and more.
Oh, nice!
And yes, if you knew the quantity of blue paints I have, smiling face with open mouth and cold sweat.
You have a lot of blue stuff in your works, I tell you. Yeah, let's see how does the visual side of things look over here. I think while finally getting on the look I want this to look in the end. Look at this, look at this. Here we go. It's not yet, of course, ready fully, but... Oh, I need to make the tab that it actually goes to the sink itself. So let's see, like, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like that. And let's make it so. Let's go to the, what's the one? Projectiles. Projectiles. Let's go to there and press A and
Spencer Love.
See what is
Perhaps a wider sink basin.
Scientific speed and direction. And direction is distance, yes. Perhaps wider sink basin? Could be. Could be. We could do that.
Acoc. Blue is the color of purity and libertad.
Ah, libertas, indeed. So, and blue and white are lovely colors, I tell you. Especially, are connected to our lovely nation's flag. I'm telling you. Yeah. Anyways, let's go to the tap water situation, and let us put this one, the one that we have over here, the second. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put this one to 5. But blue is a very lovely color, I tell you. Perhaps a wider sink could be like this, who knows? I'm going to be testing out how it works and how it looks better, of course, testing it. And now I'm going to be doing the mechanic of how to actually clean the dishes. That's the stuff. Let's see. Yeah, oh, it goes a little bit too much. A little bit too much.
Spencer Love.
Tree.
I was meaning the grey areas, not necessarily the whitish/yellow area.
Grey areas? Ah, you mean the sink. Ah, well, let's just keep the sink at least this small right now. I get what you say. In our home, we have this sort of like a double sink sort of fashion, like this. And we could do that as well, but let's just keep one sink right there at this moment, at least. We can of course easily make it bigger. It has no really work on right now.
I changed my mind. Dungeon 1 is my favorite track.
Dungeon 1 is nice, I tell you. I tell you. So we go. Tap water. Yay! Now, next thing we're going to be working on is putting these dirty little things. Yeah, let's do that. A Dungeon 1 is, I like it. I personally, that's one I do like a lot. Yeah.
Acoc.
Spoon.
I remember one of my Spanish teachers told us each color was associated to a particular
Some
feeling.
people see that there's this color theory on feelings. It depends. It depends. It depends. Do you have like what sort of sinks do you have in Spencer Love in America sort of fashion? We have like double sinks usually. Yeah. But there's this color theory, like John Sibelius, one of the big composers in Finland, had that same color theory, but also that the sound could
turning
have
the
a color.
water by breaking the taps, ha ha ha.
It's still under work! I'm not the best animator, but I need to ask someone that I know that actually can do that. I know.
Wispy whiskers.
I know it's not.
Aco, is black a color?
Oh, that's a philosophical question. Oh, is that right? I'm interested to hear what Aiko answers, but now we're gonna be doing this wonderful switch that is
Spencer Love.
Self-switch.
Depends on the home, but we have double sinks as well as large single sinks.
Ah, I see. We usually don't have large, big sinks. Yeah, interesting. Of course, I have not seen all of the homes in Finland. I don't know all things. But one thing I know. Now we're going to be doing a self-variable. Self-variable. I use this a lot when it comes to eventing. This is one of the best things because you can actually have like switches that are just within one event. And I'm going to be adding this very much on when it comes to this dishwashing. Let me actually find the thing that I already did for this. There's this one system I did for here somewhere. Is it in test maps? All the buildings? No, not Karelia. This is the locations we are currently making. I showed it last time. It is functional, working on the minigame and actually the quest of the dwarf. Gandalet the White. But now, we're trying to find the scene I have. I need to actually clear this out. This is actually very sort of disarray. Yeah. Where's the one that I was doing over here?
Black is not actually a color. Black and white are values. Grey is too.
Values?
However, people consider them as colors.
Yeah, like white is a combination of all colors and black can take any color.
But my kitchen is tiny, so...
Tiny kitchen! One single sink does the job. Two sinks is very good when it comes to dishing the whole... making the dishes, yeah. You can like organize and such. Yeah, we got that over here. Thing is, let me try to find it. Where's that? This is the thing you don't have to avoid.
Dilemma. Is it true they paint the houses bright colors in Finland to brighten people's moods in the winter?
Well, when you look at big cities, no. Very much in countryside houses, like bright red and bright yellow is usually what we use over here. This farmhouse we over here has is bright yellow. Very lovely color over there. I don't know about America.
Chipmunk 125.
Chipmunk, how are you doing?
Hey man, how have you been?
Hey, how are you doing? We are doing a sink dishes game, as you can see. Let me just show it quickly to you as you're joining from the Twitch side of things. How are you doing? Personally, doing alright. We have been streaming for some hours here. And now, look at this. Wow, this is a mini game we are doing right here. Yay, and we are breaking the whole thing to water come. But now, the important thing, I made this system, I need to find it. I need to actually focus now. I made the, no.
Chipmunk 125.
No.
That's good to hear and see, and I just woke up getting ready to go work out.
Ready for a workout? What sort of workout plan do you got? It's good to actually do workout, stretching and this sort of stuff. Very good. Let me know what your thoughts on RPG Maker. Are you actually familiar with RPG Maker? Let me know.
Wispy whiskers.
Let me
Okay,
know.
so if black isn't a color, I guess my favorite color is purple. What feeling is that
Purple?
Associated with?
I'm actually interested to hear what that is and what would you answer. I'm actually... This is the thing, I've lost it. Where it is? It's somewhere over in the map folders, I remember. God damn. Yeah, we have some maps over here. A lot of them are in progress of maps. Here we go. Ah, this is the one. Okay, let's go. So basically, I've done this system for this game. Hopefully now it works. We have to see.
Chipmunk 125. I run for 5 miles, then do 300 push-ups and 300 sit-ups.
Wow, you must be buffed, man. I pay respect for that. Very good. Very good. I have to really like, oh man, that is cool. That is quite something, I tell you too. Feels of dolly die. There we go. Okay, this is the one. Nice. Okay. So this is the kind of the all events are copied of each other. I'm going to be using this when it comes to the progress, when it comes to washing the dishes. A system I've made. Yeah, can you have meters? Nice. This is the one I wanted to find. Now let's go to the dishwashing
Chipmunk
scene.
125.
Let's copy it on there.
Yay, today I don't feel like working out, but I still force myself
You
to.
have to in order to become strong! And nothing can beat you. Of course, it's a healthy thing. I have to actually get more workout. I have to tell you. Even though I'm in countryside, I do actively farm jobs, and it's kind of workout, but I need to do that sort of running and stretching and this sort of stuff much more. Very healthy stuff. Now, the thing is, this is the event how it's done.
Wispy whiskers.
Runner blue.
100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and a 10-kilometer run every single day.
Wow.
How
can you do that?
Purple or brown, I don't know. In my mind, purple would be wealth.
Purple is a kind of a wealth color. It was originally very hard to find because the color, of course, now you can the synthetic color is easy to do, but in the original times, in Roman times, only emperors could wear it because it was made from these sort of seashells, the color, the paint that was made, and it was like as expensive as gold. I tell you, it was very expensive to get that color. So of course, only kings could have that. Now, what I was
That's a reference.
Running blue. What's a reference? Am I doing a reference that I actually don't know? Who knows? So the running blue, let's see. Here we go, progress not creation. Now we're going to be doing a progress when it comes to the Tiskiratti. Yes, indeed, we're going to be putting this one in here. You can see, we're going to be changing this picture still, and I'm going to be changing it to the tapping thing.
Cozy.
Yay.
A little like velvet.
Yeah. Well, actually, I would just say yeah, and I actually don't know. Let's see what the velvet thing is. Velvet. Google Translator. Velvet.
Wispy whiskers.
Is...
You keep doing that until your hair falls off and you become insanely strong.
Ah, nice.
Cozy.
Satin. Yeah, satin.
Cream.
Yeah.
The exercise regimen mentioned by Whiskers.
Man, that is tough. Chipmunk, I will very much. Congratulations on that. Otherwise, how is you doing otherwise? Like, we're currently having here, we're creating a game. Are you a fan of RPGs? Let me know. RPGs like Final Fantasy, or the great upcoming game, Final Fantasy, yeah, I'm doing this, like, I want the small system, like, the thing is, the feel of the game is very important. I want the small system to be ready before I really start, like, putting stuff out there. And one of the things I want to do these mini games. These mini games are kind of a representation of. Let me just put that in 32 and 32, 32, 32. The mini games are important. One of the reasons being that. You know, you can actually, like, I want to make this game as not like you are not the biggest hero of the land and this sort of fashion. It's actually that you have to earn your place, and I want that people have to go in order to earn a decent amount of money at the beginning. They have to go and do this washing dishes thing. Yeah. Then what I have to do, I force them to. Well, the game, well, in efficiency level, of course, you can go and risk yourself.
I only do puzzle games since those are relatively short.
I see. Puzzle games? What sort of puzzle games? There's some interesting ones. There was this interesting puzzle game that was all about this sort of island. You went to this island, there were all sorts of puzzles around the island, you have to just take care of them. I remember this one, a very old game, I don't remember the name of it though. Let me change the progress path thing, and it's called to be Tiski Progress.
By RPG Engine, of course.
By RPG Engine? RPG Maker?
Spurgilema.
Myst!
MYST.
That is the one! Oh, thank you very much, Spurgilema. I very much... Myst is an incredible one. I really like that. I really like that game. My neighbor used to, in a long time ago, like, share it, and... oh, it's a cool one. It's a cool one.
Spencer Love.
Myst is
MYST, I think, was the puzzle game you mentioned on the island.
Yeah, that is the one. That is a cool one, I tell you. That is a very cool one. Now let's copy this one. And the
Spencer Love. Spurgilema beat me to it.
Beat me to it? Oh no. Spurgilema shared that to you? Here we go. Now we got ourselves this one over here. Let me just see. Yeah, need to be still putting it. But yeah, like that's a very when I was young, very difficult game, if I remember right. I don't know, I don't remember everything about it, but I remember it being a very difficult experience. Like a very, very puzzle oriented, and I think these sort of games are needed. We need that sort of relaxing but challenging puzzle games. These sort of puzzle games that really get your mind thinking, sort of fashion. Now, what we're going to be doing is copying this one from here, and like this. And this is going to be the Tiski process called. Let's save it as Tiski process.
Spencer Love. I use a lot of Dungeons and Dragons inspirations for my in-game puzzles.
Oh, Dungeons and Dragons, there's some lovely stuff with that. Especially how much you can interact with it, because of course it's a tabletop game. That's why you can interact with a lot of it. I very much, hopefully, this game is going to be, that's the plan at least, that it's going to have that feel of essentially having a lot of this sort of like the affect in the game. I like the games that you can actually affect to the experience of them. Now let me put the monitor on. Here we go. You can see what I'm doing here. And Tiski process is the one. Let's change this picture
Wispy Whiskers.
to Tiski process.
I love the way you make money in Mount and Blade, Warbad. First earn money through gambling, looting and slave trade, then buy dye works in every town and you're set for life. A cream. Pocket Mirror is about challenging. You must be lucky to able to figure out every puzzle and get the ending you want.
Pocket Mirror, what is that? What is that? Pocket Mirror, a cream. Let me actually Google that. Let me search that online. Here we go. Let's open this one. Pocket Mirror. I think you can see it in here. Pocket Mirror game. Agame. Ah, RPG Maker game. Oh, nice.
Spurgilema. The producers of MYST made a newer game called Obductio. It is pretty good.
Oh, I like the visual style of this one. Is this a released version? Oh, I see, I see. Let's see the images. I tell you, the most... Yeah, I heard about that. Haven't actually looked more into it, though. I have to tell you. Kinda looks nice. Out of like a sort of dreamy landscape. What program would they use to make this? I wonder, though. Ah, VX8. I used to that as well. This is a bit better, though, I believe. Unfortunately. Now, let's save here. Test out the progress bar. I'm going to be putting the... When you
Wispy Whiskers.
Do this sort of stuff, the progress
bar. What program do you use for the pixel art?
Paint.net. Paint.net, a simple program so far. Yay! So we got over here success. I'm going to be having an edit element over here when the progress bar has been filled. All right. Of course, if you are in near the water, the filling process will be much easier. But yeah, Paint.net, easy, free program, easy to get. I recommend that if you are interested in testing out. Of course, there are GIMPs and others. I'm just getting used to that program, so that's why I use it myself. Now, the final thing. We're gonna be putting this one in here. Like this. We're gonna be putting this in here. We're gonna be putting this in this spoon thingy. And the action I need it to have, we're going to be checking out Tiskiratti's yeah, this sort of stuff. I'm going to be checking out where it actively moves. Let's do a parallel process. Let's name this Tiskiratti Rag. Let me just let it be Rag. Tiskiratti, just like a Finnish feeling on it. Anyhow, event X. Here we go. Event location X. Let's add
Wispy
game
Whiskers.
Information, which is
Paint
character
TM
X.
can take you far.
Paint can take you far. I've even seen some of the big people using Paint. Paint.net is a free one, which you can have the some kind of a combination stuff to it and stuff. Very lovely. Very lovely stuff. Now, map of this event. No, we need to have the event that is called a rag. It follows where the rag goes. And wherever the rag goes, there cleaning will happen. That's the thing. A rag location over here. Good. It follows the process. And once the rag is the same as this event over here, then good things will happen. So basically, it's going to be checking constantly on the rack position. This is going to be a bit problematic one. Yeah, I'm going to be seeing does it work. Let's see. Let's add some switches over here. Here we go. go. Actually, let me not add to this one. This is not a good spot. It's over here. Event location, and it's going to be spoon location. It's going to be spoon location U. And this is going to be one that if player touches, so that's the logic we're going to be putting over there. If player touches this spot, alright, it's going to be checking out spoon location and spoon location X. That's what we're going to be doing. That's the logic we're using here. And it's going to be checking the spoon location that is this event's X. And it's going to be then looking at the position of this event's U. The color system, actually, you mentioned Aiko, that, you know, colors can mean stuff. It's actually interesting, fascinating sort of fashion. The colors have their feels, and there's the color theory, especially when it comes to painters. If they want to get a specific feeling, they will have a specific colors. Now, the next thing we're going to be putting that if event X. If event location is same as spoon location X. Here we go, it's kind of, it checks that. And if event location U
Aiko C
is same
How
as...
do you perceive the pink color?
Pink is kind of, I suppose it's kind of like flowers use it. It's kind of like a beauty, sort of, life.
Wispy
Life,
Whiskers.
I think, you know, comes from that.
I have to go now, but first I want to recommend a game called Sea Salt. It's what happens when Cthulhu who my thas and pick my meat. Great pixel art and gameplay.
I will check that out right away. And I think I'm going to be ending the process today. We've actually made quite a lot of process. I'm just going to be making that once the whole Tiskiratti thing comes to the right spot, then the progress goes forward. We're going to be doing that, and then we're going to be ending. And thanks, Whiskers, for being here so long. Goddamn, 2.5 hours! Very, very long time. Thank you very much. Others as well. It's like a full-length movie of eluukkanen just doing stuff over here. And it's kind of lovely to have you here and discuss and that sort of stuff. Very, very good. Very, very good stuff. Anyhow, one thing I want to check out just quickly is the...
Aiko C. Bye-bye, Wispy Whiskers face throwing a kiss
Biscuit
X.
Whiskers, see you later. And I think we have an error over here on the screen. I cannot see anything. I cannot see anything. I cannot see anything. Something happened. Oh, well, I'm going to be checking out the works that you share. But hey, thanks. Cthulhu Mythos. Let us see how that goes. Sea Salt, game called Sea Salt. Let me check it out just in a moment. Just in a moment. I'm going to be checking out, does this whole thing work now?
Wispy Whiskers. Oh, you make me blush, smiling face.
Of course.
Shadow
of course.
the
Very
Parrot
lovely to have you
Gaming.
here. Very lovely to have you.
Bye, Whiskers.
And all this as well. But of course, familiar folks, always a pleasure. Hey, Shadow! You are here.
Aiko C. Pink color would be associated to femininity, beauty, and fairy tales, I think.
Did it really work? Because do we have this as a parallel process? Anyhow, thing is, I'm going to be doing and work on this later. Unfortunately, Shadow, we're going to be ending the stream for this point, because the thing is, I've been doing this for almost 3 hours, and we cannot be here for 3 hours, otherwise I will be... I need to eat something. I need to eat, I need to do some stuff, and of course you have to... Well, hey! Thanks for coming to the Game Development Session. We met some new people. We met Where's the other one that we met today? Spencer Love, if you're still here, I would very much pleasure having you here. We're going to be checking still what is Sea Salt game in here on the screen. Sea Salt game. Here we go. Let's see what that is. Sea Salt on Steam. Let's see, of course, as our Wispy Whiskers asked, just check it out. Okay, so this is sort of like a RPG. Sea Salt is a dark horror action strategy. Horror action strategy. Year ago, very positive. I'm checking this out later on. But hey, thanks people for being on the stream. I appreciate it. More RPG Makers and all the streams tomorrow. I tell you.
Spencer Love. I've enjoyed following along.
Yay!
Echo C.
A pleasure.
Hi Parrot. Elias.
Parrot
Your
is
popular
Pepper.
smiling face with open mouth and smiling eyes.
Ah, not really, not really. I don't really care about popularity, just the people that I meet. That's the thing. And with streaming, we have been making new people, like Spencer. Very much lovely to see perhaps another time. But hey, thanks for being here. Need to be ending the stream now, but we're gonna be streaming tomorrow. Some process, we shall see what that is. But hey, wherever you are, whoever you are, I wish you a good day. Hopefully I'll see you again soon. Good to see you.